So yes, welcome friends to this information system, session, and more of a, at the end of it, we'll also have a questions if you have any, but most of the queries will be answered directly here. Here is that, I mean, this is just a welcome slide. We say that this is a course. This is not actually a course. This is more of an information session on the course, but the same slide is used there, and that's why it is there. We'll be learning it using this version called as PMBOK 6. It is because currently PMI is still continuing with the exam, which is on the PMBOK 6, and is, if I guess correct, it will be 1st of August 2022. At least till then, they will continue to conduct the exam on the current version, and that's why we continue to do it onto this. We do a big amount of touch base onto the version 7 as well, particularly on the agile part. So agile is covered heavily. In fact, it is not a part of version 6 or version 7. Agile is a separate agile practice guide, which anyway we cover. So that is there. But main process part of it, the processes, we are covering using the version 6, and that's what we'll be doing. About PMP course exam and certification, about PMI, you are actually getting associated now with an international institute whose name is Project Management Institute, PMI, Project Management Institute. It's a US body, and they are, they were formed to go ahead and document the best practices of the project management, promote those best practices, create the certification, and so on and so forth. While it was actually, it is titled as Project Management Institute, they are now not limited to only project management. They have a certification called as PMI ACP. Now this PMI ACP, has anyone heard this word?
No.
Okay, so this is one of the certification. There is one more thing, and that is called as PGMP. PGMP, program management thing. PMI ACP is PMI's agile certified profession. Then they also have something called as a CBAP, certified business analyst practitioner. So they have several certifications. One of them, which is most popular, is probably the PMP, and which is what we are trying to do through this particular course. So PMI is a big institute. It's a US-based institute. You will be enrolling yourself to them as a member, and then later you will be actually attempting their exam, which is a PMP. I don't conduct the exam. I have no role to play in the exam. My role with you will be to provide you the training and equip you for that, provide you some mock tests, and help you to prepare. And once, can everyone please put on mute so that it doesn't disturb all. So that's the whole purpose. The whole purpose is basically to prepare you, and then after that, what you need to do, you need to become the member of PMI. You need to pay the exam fees to the PMI. I have nothing to do with that, nor NeoSkill has anything to do with that. That's between you and PMI. And then you need to give the exam, and once you give the exam, you get the PMP certificate. PMP certificate. How would that look? I will actually tell. It looks something. Oh, that's a challenge. I will show it to you. Who was the last guy? People keep on sending it to me on the WhatsApp, and then I keep on forgetting that. Anyway, I will show it to you. It's a PMP certificate. You will get a PMP certificate. Oh, why do I do that? I have one more choice here, and that is to show you my certificate rather than someone else as a sample certificate. If you go back to my site, this is my website. You can actually store this thing in your favorite. If you want, I will just put it through the chat so that you actually have it. Lot of updates and lot of information and everything is is there in that site. So you might as well store this for your reference. And then if if you go to the PMP page, this is what will be the page, and all that lot of information will be available here. If you click onto this book, this is that book which is the published by them. When you click, it takes you to the PMI site. This is the site where you will be doing. Oh, someone asked me your name. Thanks. I went with an assumption, Parag. For that, once people log in, they are on unmute, so it becomes an issue. Okay, so was that Parag?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, tell me.
My name is Sanjay. So Sanjay Joshi, And you can see this is I should have started the video as well. There is no harm doing so, but in the beginning I didn't. Let me do that. So there I go and start the video. And so now you can see the screen here. This is there, and now it has taken us to the PMI website. This is the PMI website. And then if you look at this, I can log in here. You would not be, because you need to still create the login ID. You have not created it yet. I have created. That's why it is there. So I will log in here. And once you log in, what I was saying that once the training gets over, it is a deal between you and the PMI, which means you need to pay the membership fee and become the member of PMI. Then you need to pay the exam fees, give the exam. And once you do that, what do you get is a PMP certification, which is actually a worldwide accepted certification. It's it has a reasonably good acceptance, and it has a value. It has a fairly good value into the market. So that's where it is there. So for example, you can see this is my account, this is my membership number, and then so on and so forth. It says that PMP is in good standing, which means it is still valid. And now when you open this particular thing, it will actually show the certificate. So you can see this here. This is my certificate. It says that Sanjay Joshi, he is there and he has done PMP certification. He did it on 24th of October 2008, and it is going to get expired on 24th of October 2023. So that's how it is there. So what I'm trying to say is that once you give the exam, you will get similar certificate. This certificate will actually go ahead and help you to progress your career, will give you the confidence within your organization as well as outside your organization. You start getting the recognition because of that. And that's the project what I was talking, we're actually going to start. So let's get going with this. Is that PMI. So your association with PMI is now starting. It has started today, and from here onwards you will be you'll be getting associated with them continuously. Let's get going. What is PMP? PMP is probably most accepted certification in the area of the project management. Remember, there is one more, and that is called as Prince 2. Some of you would have probably done the certification called as Prince 2, or you might have some information about it. This is also another project management certificate. PMI has done something called as a PMP. So PMP is by PMI, Prince 2 is by an organization, and that is called as Excelos. So AXELS, Excelos. These are the people they have worked. So there are multiple. So most accepted probably is PMI, and obviously the most difficult as well. Cracking PMP exam is absolutely not very, not very easy, and you need to be dedicating 3 months of time to do this, which means you need to attend the training for 35 hours, which I will be doing. I will be running you through. If you register to this particular training, you will be attending the 35 hours of the training, and that will continue for 4 weekends. Typically it is on the Saturday and Sunday. Listen to this carefully. It is Saturday to Sunday, Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Remember, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., which means it's a 4 hours. Typically, PMI says that if you want to actually go ahead and appear for the PMP exam, I'm not saying clearing the PMP exam, even for you to appear for the PMP exam.
Sanjay sir, I think you are muted.
Yeah.
I'm extremely sorry. Till when you are able to listen me?
Yes.
I mean, when did I mute?
You started referring to when we have to, even for when we have to appear for the PMP exam.
Right. Okay. So just now I did it, isn't it? Just now I did it.
Yes.
Not much.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Anurag. And thanks. I mean, otherwise I would have continued to talk here like a fool. And then, so coming back to this. So I was saying this is PMI, and then now you are going to get associated partner with PMI to pursue it. And now coming back to this, I was saying that for doing this, you need to actually have 35 hours of the, training. Now, 35 hours, why 35 hours? Not because you need so many hours to complete this book. It is a specification given by the PMI. If you are, once you give the application saying that I want to give the PMP exam, remember, not clearing, give the PMP exam, at that point on time, you need to demonstrate two important things. One of the thing is that you need to show them that you have attended 35 hours of training. And second one is that you have 36 months of the project management experience. Let me repeat, if you have not noted those numbers, 35 hours of the project management training and 36 months of the project management experience. So these are the two criteria. And for that, I need to conduct a training which is at least 35 hours. Since we do it over the virtual mode on the Zoom mode, it is not good to have it more than 4 hours a day. For you people to listen to someone and study something for more than 4 hours on a virtual mode, I'm sure you would realize is not very easy. So 4 hours is a stretch limit. So if we go by that rule, 35 divided by 4 lands to around 9. So we need 9 sessions to complete the whole course. And how do we do that? We do it only on Saturday, Sunday, because most of you will be working and you may not have an opportunity to do it over the weekday. So it is Saturday, Sunday. So obviously we need 9 sessions, which means at least 4 weekends plus one more. And that's how the whole thing gets completed there. And that's how we go about it. Rajesh, you raised the hand. Any question there?
Yes, I wanted to know the difference between becoming a PMI member versus a non-PMI member.
Yes, I will tell you. I will tell that to you. So Rajesh, just park this question because in the flow, I will explain it. Is that fine?
Fine, fine.
Typically, Rajesh, PMI member or not member, if you are giving the exam, if you are planning to give the exam, it is self-sponsored. Rather, I would say, not, let me rectify. The membership comes free. Now, you would say that how does it come? It is not free. It comes at $139. So Rajesh, it is $139. So let me put it here. So membership is $139. So obviously, what I am saying is it's free is not really the free. But what happens, Rajesh, is that when you are actually giving the exam, for the exam fees, there are 2 options. Exam fees, you have 2 options. One is for the member and one is for the non-member. Both of them can give the PMP exam. For giving the exam, you need not have to be a member, Rajesh. Okay. But the trick here is that the member are, oh, sorry. So here, membership 139, exam for member is $400. Okay. And non-members, it is $555. So now you realize 139 plus 400 is almost like $555, Rajesh.
Correct.
So what happens in that sense, you can say that if you are giving the exam, membership comes free. Now, if membership comes free, why should you, it does not mean that everything that comes free, you should take it. But at the same time, because of the membership, you will be able to get certain benefits. For example, if now I go back to this particular PMI site, you can see that you can log into this site. It's pmi.org. You can do that. And now, if you, if I go to the standards and publication and click onto this, you will find that they have several books there.
Okay.
Look at it here. There are a lot of books here. For example, foundation standards. If I click onto that, you will find that there are several books, and did you find a open lock sign there?
Correct.
This will not be seen by you if you do it today. And that's because of the membership. So if you become the member, it comes free because it is discounted, equivalent amount is discounted in the exam fees. In addition to that, all these books you will get free. So obviously, Rajesh, you would realize that it absolutely makes sense to become a member rather than being a non-member. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Good. But good, Rajesh, I am very happy that you asked the question when it came to your mind. And that's how I would encourage everyone to do so. Yes.
So one more question.
Yes,
for
Deepa.
how many months or a year or days this membership is valid?
Membership is valid for 1 year. During that 1 year, you book the exam any day, Deepa, you will get that discount.
Okay, thank you.
So if you take the membership, you should give the exam within 1 year. That's the maximum limit. There is one more thing, Deepa, because you asked about this time limit. Let me clarify that as well. How many days is the training valid? Because I told you that you need 35 hours of the training.
Yes.
Now, if you would have taken 4 years back a project management training, will that be considered valid? No. The training need to be taken within last 1 year. When you give the application, within last 1 year, you should have taken the training. So within 1 year, training should have been attended. Once you take the membership, you should do it within 1 year. So yes, sir, normally it is landing to 1 year. but don't ever go by that, friends. Don't ever go by that. Typically, it needs a good amount of study. You need to spend at least 2 hours a day for 2 to 3 and months. And for you people who are working somewhere, you are absolutely busy in your normal life, domestic responsibility. Doing so for more than few months is absolutely not possible. It's not possible. So don't even think to do it for 1 year. You must, if you are deciding to join the course, which will start on the Saturday, you will complete the course within month, or maybe at least at most 5 weeks. Within 2 months from then, maybe by the end of June, or at most first week of July, you should get away with this exam. So over 1 year, Deepa, just don't, that's the extreme limit which is given, but don't bang on that.
Yes.
July 15th is at most you should do. Don't stretch beyond it. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you so much.
Hi, Vishal.
Yeah, hi, sir. Sir, I just wanted to understand, like in the training, we will be learning about 6th edition or the 7th one?
We are still doing it on the 6th, Vishal. Now there is an interesting thing. Those people who are actually little new to this version, this business called as a 6th and 7th, let me explain it to you, because since Vishal has already done that, some information gathering about it. So here you go. The current version of the PMP, PMBOK, which is there on the site, is PMBOK version 7, which is the current one. But while I will be teaching you the things on the basis of something called as version 6. Now the question is that why are we learning the prior version while the new one is already in place? Now, Vishal, the reason there is that this PMBOK 7 was launched onto the PMI site on the 1st of August 2022. 2021, which is almost 8 or 9 months back. Now, one of the practice which, because I personally gave the exam on version 3, I mean, you would have noticed my certificate. I cleared the PMP exam in 2008. So that time the version was version 3. So I have seen PMI transitioning from version 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, and now 6 to 7. So 5 transitions I have seen. And who was that? Rajesh, I think. Was that Rajesh? No, not Rajesh. Vishal. So Vishal, so every time what they do, the moment they go ahead and launch the new version, just to ensure that the people who have undergone the training on the prior version, they don't change the exam on the same day. They do it 1 year later. So if we go by the same rules so far, Vishal, the exam which will be actually based on 2022 may not come before 1st of August 2022. So if you give the exam, you will be giving it on version 6. And that's where we cover that into the version 6. However, remember, version 6 or version 7, nowadays one more change has happened. The 50% questions are asked on something called as Agile, and that Agile practice guide is same. It is not changing. So Agile practice guide is latest. It is common for version 6, 7, whatever, it doesn't matter. And the typical exam will be on the 2022. They will always, if you go ahead and book an exam, let's say, Vishal, you book the exam. Once you book the exam and then they change the thing, saying that, now we want to change the version, they will always give you the slot. They will say that you can give the exam on 6 only up to this date. And that is yet not announced. So there is absolutely no reason why we should do it on the version 7. Now that is one minimum reason, Vishal. There is one more benefit of doing it in 6. And that benefit I will tell you. See, Vishal, what happens is that once the version changes, the supporting material, supporting mock test, websites, videos, I mean, you will be referring huge material on the internet and all that thing, Vishal. What happens if the version changes, the exam version changes, at least it takes 5-6 months for the whole internet to get flooded with the information, books, mock papers with that. So my saying to you all people, I mean, my suggestion to you is that try to do it in this particular thing before August, before August. If you miss that August, then never do it in August or September. Then come se kam November tak we shall wait karo. Are you getting the rationale behind it?
Yes.
Because what will happen, then you will not get this help, which is there on the internet. I mean, there are huge videos, there are huge books, lot of mock tests. What is not there? PMI ke liye you have huge material available. Now, this whole ecosystem takes a little bit of time whenever there is a new version coming in. So best is to do it quickly, take that deadline and finish. Does that make sense, Vishal?
Yes, it does. Just one question, like I was noticing there were certain changes in knowledge areas to principles and domains. So,
Yes.
like, will this sixth edition be helpful in the interviews and other progressions as such?
Typically it doesn't matter because see interview mein to bilkul hi problem nahi Vishal. The reason is that
Ah,
you can upfront and tell that I have done it on version 6, so there is
okay.
he can't expect that you should be knowing it from on version 7. Now the question is that is that the latest? Ab kaisa hota hai, project management as a knowledge Vishal, is completely evolving. It is always evolving.
Mhm.
The version 3 to 4 there was something better, 4 to 5. So obviously it's an ongoing thing. You might actually be able to probably go through the whole book once and sort of recover yourself. So
Right.
you need to start with some version. 6 is not a bad idea either.
Okay.
I have part Harish for a while. Harish.
Yeah. Hi, Sanjay. Because this new version is coming in August, will the value of the sixth version, if let's say we pass the sixth version bit earlier than August, then will that get reduced because now everyone is looking at version 7?
Harish, this doesn't happen for a simple reason. As I told you, my certification was in version 3, PMBOK version 3. After that, 4, 5, 6, 7 came. Now, how does it work? I will tell it to you, Harish. These are all the questions which probably will get answered down the line, but I am always happy to answer the question when it comes to participants' mind. Down the line, ye apne aap save ho jayega, Harish, apna time. So now coming back to this, see, PMP certification is perpetual. What does it mean? Is that you don't get certificate which says that you are PMP certified for version 6 or version 7 or version 8. It doesn't say that. You noticed in my thing, if my certificate, if you see, you would realize that it actually says that I am PMP certified. Look at it here, PMP certified. It nowhere says that I did it. It only says that I did it on 2008 and it is going to be valid up to 2023. So it is perpetual. So now coming back to that, Harish, is that when you are actually doing this thing on, when you get the PMP certificate, you are PMP certified. What happens? It is valid for 3 years on the date on which you clear it. So this is, when I'm saying it perpetual, let's take it with a complete information, Harish. So think that, 15th of July, 2022, you cleared, Harish. Okay, so you will get a certificate which will be valid from 15th of July 2022 to 15th of July 2025, 3 years. In these 3 years, you need to actually go ahead and keep on reporting few things called as a PDU, which I will explain it to you soon, Harish. You need to keep on doing, which means you read some book, you attend some course, you see some video, all those activities you keep on claiming. And once you accumulate something called as the 60 PDUs, which means you have read enough, you have practiced enough project management, you need to pay another $150 and your certification will get extended by 3 more years. So it will be from 15th of July 2022 to 15th of 2025 to 2028. That's how you would have noticed that while I have given the exam in October 2008, my certificate has become valid up to October 2023. It is because I was given certificate till 11. 11 I extended up to 2014, 2014, 2017, 2020, and 2023. So it is perpetual. So Harish, there is absolutely no loss in doing that in any of the version, prior or the later. It is same. Does that
Got it. Yeah.
Good.
Thanks, Sanjay.
Let's get going. So we will take one more group of questions together after finishing some questions. Is that fine, friends?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, that's okay. So good. Some people are still coming in, and that makes me happy. Who should do the PMP exam? Remember, I said that you should have a 36 months of the project management, and some of you would have missed the light, heartbeat saying, "Ki yaar, mera to title hi nahi hai. I don't have a project manager as a title. Maybe I'm a team lead. Maybe I am a release manager. Maybe I am called as transition manager. You might be titled anything. Remember, you need to be doing 3 things in your role. What are those? You should be doing planning, you should be doing executing, and you should be doing monitoring and control. Typically, roles doesn't matter. They change per industry. Some industries call that a delivery manager, release manager, project manager, team lead, tech lead, whatnot. I mean, there are so many titles. It doesn't matter. If your work on your thing involves planning, executing and monitoring and control, you are a project manager. I know in this room there are few people, and they are from non-IT industry. They are not from IT. They are doing designing, let's say. You are in a design department for a let's say automotive company. So you are in design department of Tata Motors, for example. Okay, or maybe you are working in a civil industry. Which means you are actually a civil engineer, and you are actually monitoring some township building wala site aap manage karo. Remember, it doesn't matter. PMP is not a certificate meant only for service industry or IT industry. It is meant for anyone who does the project management. And what does project management means? It means you are involved in planning, execution, and monitoring that role. If it is there, it is good enough. You can actually, there is this condition I told you, saying that 36 months of the project management, thing. How do we do that? During the application, which I will be explaining to you. In the application, you need to say that, what are the different projects you work for and how many months, and then you need to show such 36 months. Typically, while they say that it should be 36 months, I normally say that a person who has less than 7 years experience preferably should not do it. Now, there is a rationale. Remember, this is not by the PMI. You will not find this rule on the PMI side. PMI side says that 36 months of the project management. Now, from where did I derive as 7? I will tell you. See, in all the probability, people like you and me who start our career into the organization, on day one, we don't become a project manager. Our role is an independent performer. You are a technical guy doing something. I would say that approximately 3-4 years minimum, you need to deliver that, and then you might get considered for being a project manager. And from there, if you count 36, 4 plus 3 years, 7, and that's how I calculated 7. Remember, what do I mean is that normally some period of the career you should have spent as as a technical guy. That's why 7. Now, let's say if you are MBA, let's say you did MBA and you joined the company directly as a project manager, then 36 months are enough, because there you are your case is slightly different. But normally, if you are going through the hierarchical thing, which means you did the technical role first and then got promoted, so yes, situation it is always useful to have around 7 years of experience, is what is the the rationale behind saying that. Okay. So this is how their your customers in UK are. Okay, this is okay. 35 years of the training. The training what I will be giving will be entitling you to get the 35 hours of the training, and I will be also issuing the certificate. Since we are right now here and I am right sitting next to you here, I have an opportunity, because yesterday only we completed one batch, and because I completed something like that, this lady was Vaishali, she completed, so a certificate like this was generated. Vaishali Kulkarni successfully did it from 5th of March to 9th of April. I told you 1 month and little more than that is required. And then this is how. So new skill certificate you will get at the end of it, which is what is he is referring here in, if you come back to the slide, this 35 hours. So this certificate will help you to go ahead and say that you have done it. But it's not only attending this training and trying to attempt the exam. It will not work. It needs a good amount of self-study. And how much is that? Typically 2 months to 2.5 months, approximately 2 hours a day is good enough. Remember, these are all approximate things. Each individual has a different style. There are people who studied it only for a month and cleared as well. Some people took, maybe 3 months to do so. But anything more than 3 months is not advisable for a very strange and funny reason. See, for you to keep that tempo of studying and studying every day 2 hours for more than 3 months is not possible. You are already working professional, you have your own pressures, tensions, domestic responsibility. So wo 2-3 mahine mein hi khatam karo, don't do it beyond it. So that's how it is there. So you can do it within a month or maybe at most 3 months. Don't delay it beyond that. So that's how it is there. So now the room is flooded with 35 people joining, but it's good. Again, I think there is a repetition. 36 months I spoke about it, 35 hours of the training. So that's how it is there. Okay, your designation need not be the project manager. Your designation could be different. Just don't worry about it. Now going to the steps for the thing. This first step you can do it right today. Register on the PMP site to create login ID. I have shown you this PMI.org. And I'm sure you recollect this here, pmi.org. So what happened? Yeah, there you go. And then on the beginning, you would realize that it has shown that Sanjay Joshi, because I have logged in. But here there would be login. So there is something called as a sign in and sign up. So basically you can enroll. So what do? You pay nothing for that. Nothing is required to be paid. You need to give your email ID, whichever is there. They will send you then OTP onto that. Give general details and you create your login ID. It's completely free. You can do it right away today. There is no harm. Don't worry. You might, sometimes registering on a site means they keep on sending a lot of garbage. They don't, these people don't do it. So don't worry about it. You go ahead and register it. Then the second step, Vishal, or who was that who was asking Rajesh, I think, about the membership. Who was that? Someone asked about membership.
It was me, Rajesh.
Rajesh. So ye step hai, take the PMI membership. It costs $139, but it gets compensated in the exam fees. I explained it to you, $139 now and $400 later, which means it is coming to around $539. If you don't become the member, you'll have to pay $555 later, which is coming to the almost same thing. So in that sense, membership is coming free, if I were to say that. The only thing, Rajesh, is that if you go ahead and take the membership and then don't give the exam, तो फिर तो waste हो जाएगा पैसा. I mean, that's a bad thing. You should not do that. Is that correct, Rajesh?
That's right.
इतना commitment तो चाहिए, नहीं तो मत करो.
I think the books and the study material that you get with this membership, that is worth. So being a membership and taking the benefit is the best option, I think.
हाँ, और वैसे भी राजेश ने, I would highly recommend that आप अगर $139 इंडिया में ना बहुत amount है, it's not a very small amount. So if you are doing it, you should take it to the logical end of giving the exam.
Yeah, correct.
So best thing is do that. Not only books. I mean, books are anyway good to have. क्या होगा? I mean, Rajesh, if you go ahead and catch hold of someone who is a member and who is extremely good friend of you, थोड़ा बहुत मस्का मारोगे तो he will give you the pirated copies of his books as well. I mean, क्या है? Not a good practice. I'm just not recommending you should do it. What I'm trying to say is that spending $139 only to get the books is not worth it. You got my point, na? It is good that get the PMP certificate. Yeah, that's a fun, isn't it? I mean, so your signature will then start saying Rajesh PMP certified. That's a fun. So that's there. So now coming back to, you need to create the CV on their site. So what does it mean? That you need to then go and to the site and say that certification called as PMP. I mean, let's go here. Look at it. Certification. You can see that certificate, and here there is PMP. So if you click onto this link, it will give you a lot of information here. And somewhere down the line there is something called as a year content. What is the exam done like that? And there is apply. Learn about applying your PMP. Click there, and you will get a button apply. Here, did you see this? Apply for PMP. Everyone, just show me the thumbs up. Yes, good. So now coming back to this, you start. So there are three parts in the application. There are three parts. First part is a general demographic information. For example, what's your name? What is your education qualification? What is your address? Which type of industry are you working? And so on and so forth. So it's a general information which you can fill in right away. There is no specific information. It's a general information about you. So that is part one. Part two will ask you saying that when did you attend or where did you attend the 35 hours of the training? Where were you educated? Their wording is like this. Where did you got the project management education? So there you need to go ahead and say that I attended it from a company called NeoSkill, because the certificate will be in their name. So NeoSkill, they will say, when did when did it start? When did that got over? You need to give the month. I mean, it is not a date. They don't ask you the date. So you might say that, it started in the April, 2022, and it got over maybe, in the month of May, because by the time we'll finish, it will be May. So May, then they will say, how many hours was that? You need to write 35 hours there. Then they will go ahead and say that, give the reference, which means, who was the person with whom they can get in touch if they want to verify that fact. Now, remember, all of you are actually dealing with one or the other person from the NeoSkill, the person who is actually, is handling the commercial deal from your side. Give his email ID, his reference there, and that takes care of the part 2 of the application. Then comes the part 3. Part 3 is interesting, and that is called as your project management experience of 36 months. So it goes something like that, friends. Listen to this carefully. At a periodic time, because I am, a hardcore trainer, I have a habit to keep on checking how many people are still in the classroom, and it's the time to do so. Can you quickly raise the hand and tell me that you are in the classroom? Everyone there, please. Yes, a lot of them. One. So many people are saying they are in the classroom. आजकल क्या हुआ है friends, वो after these work from home practices, particularly in the IT industry, a lot of people have understood how to log into the meeting and not be in the meeting. But nice to see that all the participants in our classroom are well in the room. Brilliant, guys. So now coming back to part 3. So part 3, what is part 3? Part 3 is you need to say that, how do you prove that you are having 36 months of the project management? So when you open it, there is something called as add new project. There is a button which will come, add new project. You click on to add new project. Let's say the current project you are working has some title. You need to give the title of the project within a line. Then it will say, what is your role? This is tricky. This is a tricky. It has to be 500 words, I think. I mean, they have given a restriction. 500 words you need to say that what is your role into that particular project, a text. That whole text, then it will say, when did that project start? When did that project got over? Remember, they are not asking you the date. They are asking you the month. So you might say that, currently it is April. So let's say it started in January. So January 2022 it started. And then because this is the current project, you might say that till date, which means till date it is there. So it will automatically say January to April, 4 months. So it will say that a 4 month ka ho gaya tera experience. You have shown 4 months. Then you need to give a reference there saying that the person with whom you have worked there, preferably your manager. If that manager is not there, the person who is your friend or anything is okay. Doesn't matter. His personal email ID is what you need to give. What do I mean by the personal email ID is that person is not actually giving a certificate to you as a company. Let's say someone was working, let's say Tanay is actually, working in some X organization. And then 2 years back, he has done a project when he was in Wipro. Now, he'll have to say that, I attended this project and, this was the date. Let's say now Tanay is no more part of the Wipro, nor the manager with whom Tanay was working is with Wipro. He has also gone out. Remember, in that situation, don't worry. That person whose reference you are taking is not certifying it, saying that, that I know Tanay and I am telling it in the capacity of the manager in Wipro. He is doing it as an individual. His personal email ID, he is only saying that whatever Tanay has claimed he did in the project, he has done it. Itna hi hai wo. So it's an individual thing. So you need to give that his email ID, his phone number, and then go ahead and submit that. The moment you submit, it will say that 4 months accumulate ho gaya, whatever months. Then again the same button called as add new project will come. Add new project, again a title of the project, description, when did it start, when did it got over, what is the reference, his email ID, his phone number. Submit. The moment you submit it, will say 4 plus 8 months. It will keep on getting accumulated. The moment that number reaches 36, 36 months, the moment it reaches 36, the button will go off. It will say that now you are ready to submit the application. Now here, typically, because we are in this business of doing the training, we are always interested in ensuring that, your process related to the application does not go through a lot of, hiccups, because remember, they are having a physical agents who are sitting behind. Your application will be assigned to a person, and that person will go through the whole text what you have given, and he tries to understand, saying that whatever you are claiming, is that really a project? Because sometimes there are people who are working into a classic operations. For example, sales department, manufacturing, production line or something like that. That doesn't qualify to be called as a project management. Project management is where you are actually working on a project. So they read that text in that light, and sometimes if they are slightly inquisitive about it, or if they believe that the text is not understood, they might send your application back. Remember, they don't reject it. They might send it back to you and say, can you please clarify, or can you rectify this? So to avoid it, what I do now, this is absolutely an additional friendly deal I'm doing with you, because you would be attending my training, obviously. And that is that once your application is ready, before you click that submit button, take the PDF of it. You can make a, you can make a PDF of it, send it back to me. I will go through that. I will read that whole application. And then if I believe that, that there are any corrections to be done, I will suggest it to you, and then you submit it. The chances of your application coming back for the review are reduced because of that. Nothing more than that, So do that. So those are the three parts there. Part one is your general information. You can fill in it today as well. Part two is all about, the education, where you did the project management training, not education, this project management training. And the third one is the project, which is where you need to do it. About remaining theme here, I have already explained. The fees is $400 if you are already a member, and membership will take $139. Once you submit this application, within a week, they come back to you and say that your application is approved. Once the application is approved, you need to book the, appointment for the exam. Round the clock, there is nothing like winter, summer specific slots. They are there all over. There are huge number of centers which are there, Pearson Center, where the exams do get conducted. They are being done every day. So you need, it is almost like a railway reservation. You need to go ahead and set which city do you want to give the exam from. The moment you select the city, they will in a drop down say that which are the centers available. You select the center. On that center, they will show you slots which are available. You need to book the slot. The moment, now this, however, you can do it only after you have paid the exam fees. Once you pay the exam fees, then only you can actually go ahead and do this. And once book that slot, go there and give it there. There is a second option, and that second option is all about giving it at your home. It is allowed, by the way, but I will highly recommend don't do that. The reason is that the process is extremely stringent. They will, they will ask you to go through the laptop throughout the room, which just they will try to see that are there any books lying there, are there any boards, are there any monitor screen there where you can copy to. They will ask you to remove. Then no one should enter into that room for the whole 4 hours of the exam. If someone enters into that, tomorrow exam cancel ho jata. The network and all that thing, if there are any issues which come in at your home, maybe power breakdown, maybe the network breakdown, wo exam cancel ho jata. So don't take that headache. Best is walk into the, the Pearson Center and book the slot there and give it there. That's how it is there. So this is all about this particular thing. I think this is a good point to take questions, but preference will be Amit, Akshay, or SK Singh, because you have raised the hand. Was that for the question or was that in response to the last survey? Okay, looks like it was just because of the last one. So yes, anyone, any questions? Yes, anyone has any question? Arun, Amit?
Sir, can we apply based on your skill certificate to other organizations?
Can you apply?
Yes, based on your skill certificates to anyone for a project management role.
Project management role, you are saying as for the employment?
Yes, for the employment.
See, in the employment, it may or may not get recognized. It depends on the given company. Frankly speaking, I am not a typical sales guy. I'm a delivery guy, like you and me. So, kya hota hai, Parag? These are the registered companies. NeoSkills is a registered company. There are so many registered companies. Now, how much the company will give value to this certificate is subjective to them. So it is not necessarily all the companies will do. They may or may not. Most important thing, Parag, you will have a maximum value of the certificate if you go ahead and attach that PMP certificate to it. So, new skill wala training, certainly you will get the certificate. And if you believe that there are certain employers who respect for this, it's good, well and good. But you can't force them saying that go ahead and get, because there are so many registered training companies, Parag. Are you getting it?
Yes, yes. I'm good.
So it depends on them. I'm just not saying that it is not valuable, but it has a limited thing. PMI, obviously, Parag, I mean, they would, it's a almost like sort of a, red carpet for you, because that's a very clear evidence that, you are certified. It's good. Harish.
Hi, Sanjay. So I do understand that we are saying 3 months of time for us to take an exam.
Right.
So what commitment are we expecting here on a weekly or a daily basis
Okay,
to
good.
land us to
That's
an
an
exam?
interesting question. During the first 5 weeks, during the training, you must never miss that Saturday, Sunday wala 9 to 1. वो तो बिल्कुल miss मत करो हरीश, because it's the training, isn't it? I mean, by the way, just in case of having some people might have a doubt saying that due to some emergency I do it, we do the recording of the session. All the sessions are recorded and you will be able to go through, but don't miss it, So that's one thing, Harish. Now coming back to the thing after that, after the training, what's there? It is typically 2 hours to 2.5 hours of study per day is required. If you don't do that, you will not be able to crack. Just by attending the whole training very sincerely, you cannot crack the exam. वो difficult exam है, Harish. It needs a. So your question was really genuine. What is the commitment required? The commitment is 2 hours to 2.5 hours a day for 2.5 months. I would say that typically no need to when you are studying it, you can keep your weekends free. 5 दिन 2 hours is good enough. Some people do it other way around. They don't find time during the weekday, then it becomes the load will come on to the weekend. So weekend में फिर आपको maybe you'll have to work probably 5-6 hours a day on Saturday, Sunday might be there. So around 10-12 hours in a week for 8-9 weeks is what is required, Harish, beyond the training. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it answers. The only point of worry here is if any major deliverables are on our way,
Correct.
is it wise to put that commitment or?
You can, in that situation, you'll see there is always one more thing I tell, as part of going this is that when should you go ahead and say that you are ready? My typical thing is that when you have solved around 1,500 questions, I'm not saying 1,500 question papers, I'm saying 1,500 questions, and you start getting around 75% marks correct, that is the time when you should say that you are ready. And then you should, you should be ready to give that exam at that point of time. Now, coming back to this particular thing, if you go ahead and postpone the, you book the exam date, and after booking the exam date, Harish, if there is some life and death situation, they have given this discount for the life and death situation, not for not preparing. You can postpone the exam without any delay if you do it with a lead time of 1 month or more. Okay, if you try to do it, postpone it with a lead time shorter than the 1 month, then there is a $, penalty of some $50. So that's how it is there. So worst case may, Harish, coming back to your question, saying that last minute something came up, some deliverable came and something like that, and you are absolutely not confident, you might be able to postpone it, but don't do that. Harish, wo na dimag se nikal do that you can postpone it. Best thing, keep it in the mind that it's the last attempt I need to do it and clear it in first go is better. Does that make sense, Harish?
Yeah,
I'm just not challenging your commitment, Harish. But the only thing is that if you know that there is an exit route, you will have a tendency to use that exit route. So exit route hai ye samjho mat. I mean, don't think that there is an exit. You need to clear it, finish it. Okay. Good. I think Tanay was waiting for a while. So Tanay.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I had a question that once if our profile gets approved from PMI organization, then is there any time frame that is considered to take the exam, or
1
we
year.
can take 1 year?
Yeah. So once application is approved, the approval is valid for 1 year. So in that 1 year, you need to book the slot and give that exam.
Okay. Also, sir, as you said that if in case our classes are missed, then we will get the access for the recorded lectures.
Correct.
So will that be a full playlist of all the lectures from the first class to the end class, or just the classes that we have missed on that day?
Can you see my website there?
Yes, sir.
If you scroll down, you will get a table there. What happened? Is it still coming? It is still getting updated. It got updated. Your question is that can you see the names? And here found you 5th of March there. Can you see the table?
Yes, I can.
And till 9th of April,
Yes.
yesterday, इसके सामने ये click here है ना?
Yeah.
That is a recording for that day.
Okay.
So that's there. If you click it now, it will not open. It will, it will not give you the permission after the registration. This is just for the last week. I mean, next week when it will start, this chart will get cleared automatically. And every day, once we complete that particular day, that link will keep on getting appear. So it's there till the time you clear the exam. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So you will have an access to that particular thing through the thing. Yes, Dattatray.
Sir, the question is regarding the validity of the PMP certificate and the renewal.
Right.
How difficult it is to renew the certificate, and is it compulsory to renew it? Because as a certificate is a piece of a paper, but the knowledge we have will continue forever. So I just want to know, is it compulsory to renew it, or if I don't renew it, the companies will not value our old certificate?
Typically no, Dattatray, because companies, most of the companies, they may or may not even have an idea about, is it valid, it is invalid. They will see that PMP Dattatray ne kiya, so Dattatray is, a PMP certified. In that sense, you are right, it doesn't make any difference. But there are two important things, Dattatray, which you need to understand. First one, giving exam, doing the training, giving the exam is difficult. So getting the certificate in first place is very difficult task. So if you have done it, after that, renewal may, it is only matter of investing $150 every 3 years. Now, so what do we need to do? If you read some book on Agile, if you read some, go through some video which is there, if you go through and attend some webinar or a seminar by someone on the thing, all those activities are qualifying Dattatray to continue your certificate, which is not at all difficult. 3 saal mein you need to attend such activities for 60 hours. They call it for 1 hour. So for example, Dattatray, you read a book on agile practices, and that took you some 4 hours. You need to only log on to the PMI site because your ID will be always there. You will have to go ahead and say, I read such and such book and it took me 4 hours. They will say that now you have got Dattatray, you got 4 PDUs. As a 60 PDU you need to make. Once it is there, you can renew it. So in that sense, I would say that it is very difficult to get PMP certificate, but getting those 60 PDUs to continue is the very easy job to do. So best thing is to do so. Pay $150, and that's the reason for which you should do it. Now, second reason, this is the first one. I'm saying it is very easy to continue to kyun tum chhod jo. Okay. Second thing, on the PMI side, there is a link, and that link actually is asking for, I will search it here. PMI find certification status. Now, if you actually look at this PMP, this will be there only. So typically what it does, it will keep a track of all the people who have cleared it. Okay. And this, if you give this there, anyone in the world, look at it here, Sanjay Joshi, all the credentials, and he is from India. You say search. You do this, I don't have to do it as me. It will go ahead and tell saying that, this guy has such and such certificate valid from here and from there. So this will, now the Dattatray, the advantage of continuing this, certification is this. What will happen is that anyone in the world, if you want to say that Dattatray is here, this database is available to whole of the world. And that's where people, you realize that, once you clear the PMP, there are some more people who start calling you, saying that, are you looking for a job change? Are you those things because of this database? So Dattatray, the second more important reason is to have this, ye list mein rahoge aap. If you are in this list, there is absolutely no harm. If you get an advantage out of it, yes, and why not? Does that make sense, Dattatray?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thanks a lot for the information.
Yes, Rajesh.
Yes, Sanjay sir. I just wanted to check for the application when we list the number of projects. So we are reaching to 36 months of experience. So is there a limit in terms of the projects that we are working? Like, for example, 5 projects should be the maximum number, or 3 should be the maximum number?
There is no specific thing. 36 months tak ka jitna bhi chahiye, you can actually put there.
And the managers could be same across project if possible.
No. They could be same, but
Yeah.
if they are not, it doesn't matter. Every project could be having a separate manager.
Okay. Is there a
Or
verification?
it could be same, quite a few people, Rajesh, what happens, they are in the same company for last 8 years. So unke sabhi ek hi, they will come, they will have multiple projects, but the same manager.
Correct.
But the only thing will be 36 years wala ek project mat batana, Rajesh.
No,
because what will happen in that situation, it will sound that you are actually doing an operation rather than the project.
Yes.
If it is a project, it has to start, it has to end. So that is what is there. Otherwise, doesn't matter. Same company, same manager, perfectly fine.
Okay. And anything goes to the manager, like in terms of any verification or email to confirm that I'm applying for examination. Are you okay? Or something like that.
Right. Okay. Number one, it doesn't go to him for that. Now, this reference, whatever you are giving, Rajesh, they say that 1 out of the 7 application, they say 15%. 15% of the random applications are chosen for something called as an audit. Now, what is this audit? When it comes to audit, they don't go to the manager or anyone. They will come back to you only. So they will say that Rajesh, your application is chosen for audit. It does not mean Rajesh's experience is not unique. It is randomly 1 out of the 7 yours might get selected. So the moment it gets selected, what you need to do? You need to take a physical printout of your application. It will print your education, project management education on one paper. For each of the project, it will print onto the separate page. You need to go to that manager whose name you have given. And he need to physically sign. Let's say Dattatray was your manager. So you say this is the project I did and Dattatray was my manager. So you need to go to Dattatray, show it to him. Dattatray will read all that thing. And remember, Dattatray is not saying it in the capacity of your manager. He's saying as an individual, I know whatever Rajesh has written is true. Usne physical sign karna hai. He need to physically sign it. You need to put all those things to an envelope, send it back to the PMI, and PMI will say that your application is approved. That's it. So only in that situation, they will go to the manager. But while doing so, because you are asking me this question, let me give you a word of caution here and an information to all of you. If you believe that you are going to give some project and some reference person's name there, before you submit, the best deal is to go ahead and talk to him or her and tell her saying that I am submitting it and I am giving you reference. Audit ko aayega to sign karna. नहीं तो कभी-कभी क्या होता है Rajesh, sometimes people go ahead and then I would rather in absence of any other word nautanki karna chalu kar dete signature ke liye. So that's it. I mean, so don't keep him in dark. There is no fun. I mean, there is absolutely no fun. If you believe that your manager and you are not in so great relation or he might settle a score with you, uska manager do or koi colleague de do na. Kyun, why do you want to get into this?
Fine. Okay. Thanks for the clarification.
Good. So interesting. Let's get going. This is application. I spoke about it. Part 1, part 2, and part 3. Nothing to explain.
Hello, sir. Sonali here. So
yeah, Sonali.
Yeah. So one question, as you mentioned, that if audit comes and then you have to validate, or I mean, you need some clarification from the project managers as well. But the thing is, like, so actually, I have changed my CT. And if it comes for the audit, so physically it would not be possible for me to go to particular city and get the sign of that project managers on that particular document.
Correct.
So is it okay to have this scan copy or the I mean soft copy of the project and
no.
signs
Sonali,
on that
they
document?
don't accept the soft copy. It has to be the hard copy signed by that person. And this is very common that, forget about city, Sonali. Sometimes people move out of a country. They worked in a project in US and now they are in India. So what happens? Typically, what could be done in soft format, I will tell you, Sonali. You speak to that individual and send your PDF wala page in the soft copy to him over the email. Let him take a physical print there and send it to you through the, whatever, courier or whatever. But unfortunately for this, they have nowhere given this, email-based acceptance. I don't know for what, but they are, little stringent about it. Remember, first place, Sonali, the chances of application getting chosen for the audit are 1 in the 7. So they are very remote. But anyway, we need to be ready, thinking that you could be that 1 out of the 7. But if you are 1 out of them and your manager is, in some other place, probably you will have to have this particular preparation. Send him the soft copy of the page. Let him take a hard copy printout sign it and send it back to you. So, and that's the one of the advantage, Sonali, where I was always saying that, talk to those people, because this may na thoda commitment lagta hai. So, tomorrow he shouldn't say that, yaar, main print kaise karu, and he need to be fairly in talking term with you. So, you got my point, isn't it? I mean, sometimes,
yes.
Sometimes people
Yeah,
make
one more
unnecessary.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more question. As you mentioned that 7+ years of experience, which is required as a project management. So since I mean, actually, I'm having around 13+ years of experience. But the thing is, like, not in one company. So I have changed 2 to 3 companies with the different cities.
Correct.
And now when I'm applying, so my experience is valid for that, or is it required for
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Different company, different domain, different geographies, anywhere it is okay.
Okay.
It is not necessarily that it has to be in the current company where you are working.
Okay. And the role wise, yeah, and the role wise, I mean, in my current organization, I am as a associate manager, but not on a paper side. I mean, if they ask me on paper, so it is not there. But role wise, I am doing that thing. So is it okay that I can apply for the PMP examination?
Yeah, you can. I mean, as I told you, the test of that you are doing project management, your work should involve planning, execution, and monitoring control. If it is there, what you are doing is a project manager. The titles for that change per company. Every company calls differently. It is all project management.
Okay. And my last question is related. Actually, I did my Prince 2 examination.
Okay.
And is it I mean, if I go for PMP, is it easy for me to clear the PMP? Because I gone through one of the online tutorial, and all the terms and everything are same. So as you mentioned, dedication of the 3 months, since we have the deliverables and everything. So if I'm going parallel with the other trainings as well, and if there is no dedication for the 3 months. So is it easy for me to go with these other materials as well before appearing for the PMP examination?
I think Prince 2 wala certainly, because finally it is also another project management certification. But the whole syllabus, I have done Prince 2 practitioner as well. I conduct training even in that. So I know both of them. So there are fair amount of similarities, but a lot of dissimilarities as well. So it helps, but not that just because you have done it, it becomes very easy for you to do PMP SNE. That may not be the reality. So it needs a commitment. Obviously, it is much better than someone who has not done any other such certificate.
Okay, fine. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Hi, Dattatray. You were saying something, or it was accidental?
No, I think it was the last one. With
no worries, Dattatray. Yeah, Hemant, you had some question. Hemant? Okay, looks like if he's there, you can always put that question, not a problem.
I have one question, Sanjay. This is Harish here.
Hi, Harish.
Yeah, so I think you probably cover this ahead, but then I'm sure you will be providing some notes or some kind of artifacts for us to go through the 2.5 hours that you are saying. Apart from that, is there any other reference that we should be using, or is your notes more than enough?
No, you will need to read PMBOK. PMBOK you will have to read. PMBOK, I will be sharing the soft copy as of it. So PMBOK soft copy is required. There is one more good thing called as Rita Mulkai. There is a book called as Rita Mulkai, PMP preparation. If you go to my site, you will find the opening page here. Here, if you go to the PMI, you will realize there are 2 books here. These 2 books are good enough. I will help you to get the soft copy of them. In fact, right now, if you click on this PMP, it will take you to the Rita site. So, that's how it is there.
Sanjay, Hemant this side.
Yes, Hemant.
Yeah, my question was, since we require 36 months to be completed into project management, does it require that person should be currently in that role doing it and then going for the examination, or it is like the person has already did the project management, is now working with a different domain where there is a condition that he should have a project management certification? So for that thing, if you can clarify anything.
See, typically, so if I have understood your question, Hemant, what you are saying, you have actually worked 36 months for the project management role, and
Correct.
currently where you are working is not the project management. Is that what
Yeah,
you are
correct.
saying?
No,
See, it
I will
is.
say that
Yes.
it is in both the ways. That role requires a project management certification because it is more of a time-bound thing. The second part is maybe he's not into project management at this point of time. So what will be your suggestion on that?
See, typically in, even if you look at Hemant, in Indian IT industry also, I mean IT, which is typically a project-based industry, उसमें क्या होता है 50% of the staff is doing something called as an ongoing thing, like a server management, application management, or support type hai. They are not exactly the projects, Hemant. Okay. So now, what happens in such a scenario? Frankly speaking, if someone goes ahead and start digging into it, saying that is that a project, someone will come back and say, no, this is not the project, this is an operation. But Hemant, what happens, I will tell you. In real life, what has happened, the transition between the technologies, transition between methods and all that thing is so much that almost all the role are having a huge component of the project management. Let me explain it to you. Let's say, there is someone who is actually a teacher in the school. I am not saying even a college. He is a teacher in a school. A teacher in the school, Hemant, when we were the kids, these people used to teach the same subject or whatever for 10 years. That's how the life was going on. Okay. It was intensively an operations, not a project. But nowadays, you talk to any of your friend who is actually a teacher, you will realize they are continuously involved in the project because there is something called as, something called as Naya course aa gaya, something called as new, app has been launched. They need to launch that app for the student. They need to conduct certain gathering or event. Look at it. All these are what I am saying is a project. While teaching is a operations, these things are the project. Now, if in a teacher's life, there are so many projects there, your life is always having the projects. Don't even worry about it. It is only a matter of, looking at it. Most of us are actually doing the project. Projects is the way in which it is going on these days. Even the very sales guys and all that thing, they also, they go ahead and implement CRM. They go ahead and do, something called as an event or something called as a mission, or maybe a road show, trade show. Yes, such a project, it has a definite start, definite end. So it's a project. Correct. You can always say that it's a project. So never worry about that, Hemant.
Thank you, Sanjay.
In fact, the reason for which, Hemant, I always go, tell you, saying that you show your form to me before submit is exactly that. See, sometimes people are not able to word it in the way in which it will sound the project, which I normally help. I say that, boss, isko aisa mat likh, write it in such a way that it sounds like it is a project.
Okay, got your point.
Good. Brilliant. Anyone else? Okay, let's get going. And then maybe we'll take one more parking slot where, we'll have one more set of questions. Recommended study material, you can see it on my website as well. These are the two. I will help you, to get the soft copy of it. Tips on the exam, few tips, very important. 2.5 months is very useful. Exams are not all about memorizing or remembering the whole PMBOK. ITTO stands for input, tool, and technique and output. That's the heart, main part of the PMBOK, which is sometimes difficult to remember. People said, "Itna sab kaisa yaad karenge yaar?" But it's not all about memorizing. It is all about applying it into the process. So when you understand something called as, manage stakeholder engagement. Now, this is the name of the process. So this will tell you should use these tools and do the manage stakeholder engagement. Just don't try to remember it. Try to say that on your project, how did you do manage stakeholder engagement? By the way, I will ask this question to all of you. So be ready and give me the answer by saying yes or no. Maybe by the, by raising the hand, you can say yes, and maybe by saying thumbs down or whatever, no. My question is that in your project, did you do manage stakeholder engagement? Which means, have you managed the stakeholder engagement? Yes, a lot of people are coming, 4, 5, 6, so many people are saying, isn't it? I mean, it's very common sense, boss. Manage stakeholder engagement karna hi padega na. How can you run a project without doing that? It's very common. I mean, how is it possible? Did you identify risk on your project? Obviously, That's how you do it. So what I am trying to tell you, friends, is that it is not all about trying to remember the PMBOK or the text in that. It is all about when they teach you, say that identify this, see how did you do in your project. When they say you manage stakeholder engagement, how did you do? If you are able to map what you have done with that book, then you need not have to remember that book. By the way, you don't try to even remember, it is 978 pages. Number of pages in the PMBOK are 978. You can't remember this, forget about it. So what you can do, you can actually correlate these practices with what you are doing in reality, and then you need not have to take the tension or the pressure to remember 978. It is not possible. 2 hours a day for 2 months is absolutely brilliant. And when I say 2 months, maybe 3 months, somewhere here and there. That's how it is there. Harish, when I spoke to Harish, I told about this, never reschedule the exam for lack of preparation. वो postpone करते रहोगे तो कुछ नहीं होगा वो. It is good to go ahead and crack it into one go, So never reschedule it for. So then what for reschedule? Some life and death situation, family में कुछ होता है, sometime of that nature is there. You are ill. वो case में you should reschedule it. I would not stop you from doing so. But just because you are not prepared, you will postpone it to your brain, it will keep on postponing it. You will say, हाँ और आगे जाने दो. It doesn't happen. I mean, I'm sure all of you guys during all your college duration, you would have noticed that some or the other exam would have got postponed due to whatever reason, university. Did you ever realize that, this postponement of the exam never allows you to do more study? होता है क्या?
नहीं, right. It is human tendency.
It's a human tendency. वो जब तक आपके सर पे नहीं आएगा, आप नहीं करोगे. I mean, it has nothing to do with you being very sincere or insincere, isn't it? Correct? So don't postpone it. That's what is there. I think these are the tips. Exam is actually, does not tell you how much did you score. Oh, okay. सब चीज बोल देंगे यहीं पे. Okay, ठीक है. The exam has 180 questions. 180 questions. These are the number of questions in the thing. It has 3 parts there. And part 1 is for question number 1 to 60. Then second part is 61 to 120 questions. And third one is 121 to 180 questions. The questions, when they are in the part, they are not on separate topics. They are completely assorted. Each of the question will be either on something called as processes or people or business environment. And this is the ratio, 50% on the processes, 52% questions on the people, 8% on the business environment. But in first part, second part, third part, all these questions are assorted. In fact, each of the question out of 180, while it is mapped to one of these things, when you are answering it, when you see it on the paper or the screen, you will not be knowing which topic does this belongs to. It will ask you a question, you need to answer. The only thing that when your result will come, they will tell you how did you fare in the processes, how did you fare in the people, and how did you fare into the business environment. When they say that, remember, even they don't give you the score of that, but rather they give you the grade. For each of them, for example, here, if I were to go ahead and say business environment, as I told you, business environment, then you have something called as the processes and something called as people. For each of them, there are 4 possible things for all of them. One is that you are above target, which means you have actually scored much better than what was minimum expected. Second one, they will say that you are on target. So which means you are, clearly on target. The third one is called as you are below target, which means you were slightly lower than expectation. And fourth one is called as needs improvement. Needs improvement. So you will get business environment, you are above target, processes, you are on target, maybe people, you are above target. Something of that nature. That type of score sheet will be printed immediately at the end of the exam. So you get it immediately at the end of the exam, you get it. And then remember, if you are below target in one of the area, doesn't matter, you don't fail. You fail if you are, in needs improvement in any one of them, you will fail it there. But then the combination, what is the combination where you will pass is not known to anyone. Go to the PMI side, go to anywhere, no one tells you how much is the percentage expected for you to clear. What is being said as a grapevine is 65%. Around 65% is the passing cutoff. Let me rectify. If you think that 65% is the result, which means only out of 165 people clear it, no, that's not the reality. I am saying that you need to clear, out of 180, you need to score 65% or more for you to pass the exam. So it's not very difficult. In terms of number of people passing the exam, the ratio for my students has been always more than 95%. Most of the people actually clear. So it's to feel the guarantee, and then doesn't happen. Friends, the problem here is that people make up a courage to join the training, attend the training, but don't make up the courage to book the exam and give it. The people who have given the exam have almost every time cleared. Last 1.5 years, people have scored always all the things on above target. Above target for all three is what is very common there. That's how it works. So it is, it is not very difficult, but you need to make up a courage, which people don't. Okay. Yes, Sonali, you have a question? Okay. Tanay? Good. Anyone else? Arun?
No, sir.
Arun? Okay. No questions. So brilliant. Everyone is going on track. This is how it is there. Now this part 1, part 2, and part 3, as I told you, they are not having any separate thing. Randomly 60 questions are in each of them. At the end of every part, you are allowed to take 10 minutes of break, maximum 10 minutes of break, which means, once your exam start, after 60th question, they will ask you to, you want to submit, you can review your answers and, rectify it as well during that particular time, so for that 60 questions, you can change your answers and whatever you want to do that. And once you do that, you need to submit. The moment you submit, you can take a break for 10 minutes or less. If you go beyond 10 minutes, exam will start automatically. It does not wait for you to come back. So 10 minutes or less is there. Then you need to solve next question 61 to 120. Then again 10 minutes of break. And then final one, 121 to 180, where the exam gets over. Remember, there is no total time for all the three parts is 230 minutes. 230 minutes is the total time for the whole of the exam. The time is not given for each of the part. It is not clocked in. So if you end up taking more time for part 1 and part 2, you will get less time for the part 3. If you go ahead and work faster for the part 1, you will get more time on the second. If I were to go ahead and put it, I would say you should put a formula as 75 plus 75 plus 75, which means in 75 minutes, you should solve each part. So 60 questions, 75 minutes, which is slightly more than a minute for each of the question. So you can do it and keep on submitting. But if you take, more than 75 minutes for first question, first part does not mean that first part will get submitted. It will allow you to take, you will be doing at a cost of part 2 and part 3. And that's how it is there. So that's there. This is all the process. Any questions on this? Okay, no questions. These are some good sites. This slide pack will also be shared with you, once you go ahead and register for the training. So you can always do that. Sonali, you had some question? Or that was the last raised hand, I can. Okay, no problem. Now coming back to, these are some good sites. There are a lot of them. In fact, you go ahead and search and you will get a lot of them. Yes, Hanumanta.
Actually, is there any negative marking in exams?
Good. So this is a good question. Hanuman, thanks for this. I should have answered this, but I forgot. So no, there is no negative mark.
Okay.
If you go wrong, you don't lose anything. So here is another tip which we always give. Some people have a habit to go ahead and mark some question for review. There is a facility. You can give some answer there and mark it for review, so that down the line you can actually come back and see if you want to rectify that answer. So whenever you are doing such thing, when you are marking it for review, Hanumant and everyone else, please note, whatever is the best answer till then, whatever you think till then, you should select and then go to the next one. The reason is very simple. As Hanuman said, there is no negative marking. So kya hoga, if you mark it for review and don't give any answers, you are certainly going to get 0 marks there. Yes. If you go ahead and put the best answer, whatever you think there are at least 25%. I mean, it will not be 25, frankly, Hanuman. Because if you have done the study, what will be there? I mean, you will not be saying that A bhi ho sakta, B bhi ho sakta, D, C or D, anything. You would not be so confused. You would be only confused ki yaar B hai ya D hai. So select one of them, so that at least there are chances that you will get the marks there. Does that make sense, Hanuman?
Yes, sir. Okay, thanks.
Sonal?
Sonali here.
Yeah. Yes, Sonali.
Hello.
Yes, Sonali.
Yeah, one question. So all questions are, I mean, elaborative or descriptive or multiple choice questions?
They are all multiple choice only. Descriptive in the sense the question text could be description, scenario itself. The answer options could also be scenarios, but what you need to select is only multiple choice. Now there are 3 type of questions. One question is that choose best out of it. A, B, C, D may say you need to choose one. Second type of question, they will give you 4 and then they will say that select 2 out of it. 2 best, 3 best. That is the second type of question. There is a third type which they have introduced off late, and that is match the pair. So they will give you, maybe the terminology and the definition on the A side and B side, and with a pull and drag, you need to match it, saying that A is 1 and so on. So match it. So those are the 3 type of questions. Very few match the pair wale. Remaining are either select one or select multiple. That's it.
So all in the multiple choice, so all answers are correct, and you have to choose the most relevant one. Is this the criteria?
Typically they will, you will find that. I mean, obviously, Sonal, if you do the study properly, after that you will start realizing difference between. If you are not studied, what will happen? All 4 you will start thinking ke haan ye to sab barabar hai. But if your study is there, you will start realizing ki boss, there is a issue in B and there is a C is better than B. Those things will come. It's only matter of your grip about the subject. Does that answer your question? Yeah, good. So let's get
one more question, sir.
PMP certificate.
Yes.
Sorry, there is a question coming. Who is this?
Actually, one more question is there. In this exam, any aptitude question is there? Aptitude
in the sense, if you are saying that, is it related to, like reasoning, mathematics and all that thing? None of them. They are all checked for about your project management knowledge.
Okay.
But look at it, Hanuman, finally, kya hota hai, when all said and done, while there will not be any aptitude question, if your aptitude is good, you will learn the project management much faster. That is an indirect help. It will always be there.
Okay, got it.
Do you agree to that?
Yes, understood.
If you are, I think you are from the engineering design type of thing, isn't it?
Yes, mechanical.
Now look at it. If we want to, if you want to explain someone saying that this is the front view, you draw the side view and the plan of it. Now, for doing this, strictly speaking, do you need an aptitude? I mean, this is a very tricky question.
Yes.
Aptitude will always help.
Based on the aptitude, we need to.
You will learn all that thing faster because of the aptitude. But directly, there will not be any question which is on the aptitude.
Okay.
Good.
To analyze as questions answer.
It will help you. Obviously, it will help.
Yes. Okay.
This we spoke, maintaining PMP certificate. As I told you that it's valid for 3 years and you keep on continuing there. I'm sure Hanuman, by now you would have got convinced. If you get a certificate, it is worthwhile continuing it rather than not renewing it. There is no reason why you should not continue. It's matter of small money and then no exam and nothing. Yaar, itna to hum log karte hi rehte.
Yes, understood.
For example, reading some videos, watching some videos, some books, all that thing you keep doing, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Understood. One more question is there, sir. After completion of the certificate, after got the letter, PMP certification letter, if is any help received from you side for placement in a MNC company?
From my side, you are saying, or from your skill?
From your side, is there any chances to placement from your side?
No. In fact, I would not.
After completion of the PMP certification, after crack the exam.
Almost not, Hanuman. There is no fun in giving you, the wrong wishes there about it. Your certificate will speak itself. That sound will be much louder than what I would otherwise say.
Yes.
But I normally will not see. Typically, those training agencies and all that thing, they say that we'll go ahead and help you to place. You need to take it always with a pinch of salt, Hanuman.
Yes. Understood.
Very often they say so, but does it mean or I might say it in 10 places. How much do they care? My words is absolutely, subjective there.
Yes, it's depend on knowledge.
And then that knowledge need to reflect through your interviews and all. I mean, there are a lot of things even after that.
Typically, knowledge will sound. Yes,
absolutely. Yes, good.
Okay.
Sonali here again. One question from my end. So after completion of this our training and before our exam, so is there any question arises in middle? I mean some clarification on particular topic. So is there any help from your end or from new
It is always there.
side?
It is forever.
Okay.
What we do is that for each of the batch we make a group, WhatsApp group, and in that WhatsApp group we are always in touch. So typically till the time people clear it, they are always in touch. And even after they clear, they are always in touch with me. So it is never a problem.
Okay, fine. Thanks. Yeah,
so,
thanks.
In fact, it becomes a matter of pride, to keep in touch with the people later, and that's how it happens. So,
hello.
Yes, who is this?
Yes, yeah, Lakshman sir. Lakshman this side.
Hi, Lakshman.
Yeah, hi. So I have one question. As you said, the question paper will be MCQ based questions.
Correct.
For that, we'll be referring the books like you have suggested, the PMBOK book and other. Is there
Rita
any
Mulkai.
book or the question sets or the questions are repeating questions in the exam? Like, for example, I have studied last few questions or the few tests of previous papers. So I have gone through the MCQs and the similar. Means it would be helpful for me to giving the exam. So is it fine if I study the set of questions or the MCQ questions and those will be repeating out of it, or it will be a totally new questions or a new basic set of questions?
So two parts to this, Lakshman. First thing, there is no specific dump or anything where you will actually be able to guess what questions might come. You must try as many, mock tests which are there from multiple sites there, but none of those questions will get repeated into the thing as it is, because their question bank is extremely tight and secure, so you don't get it. But Lakshman, what happens that all these mock tests, they will actually help you to refine your things and thoughts in such a way that it will help you to crack their exam. See, so my precise answer, and that might sound little English wording here, Lakshman, but it is all about you will get very similar questions like they are in the mock, but you will never get the same questions which were there in the mock. They will be similar but not same. Does that make sense, Lakshman?
Yes. Okay.
But I mean, one of the very essential thing, I mean, because we are on the topic here, let me show it to you about little more preparation part of it. If you go ahead and, go to my site and then, download this Sanjay's PMP study tool. If you download this, you will actually get an Excel file. Now, what is this Excel file? I will show it to you. And that will tell you about, how does that help? So your question, Lakshman, is about, is that will the, solving those papers and all that work? It will. Now look at it here. Why I am showing on day one of this training. Today happens to be the 10th, which is, the thing. So I think 16th is the Saturday on which the training might start, optimistically. So what I do at the start of it, I will make a plan which is specific to you. So for example, here, I will go ahead and call it as April. So this is April, and it will be starting, somewhere on the 17th of the thing. Let me check with the calendar. So there you go. It will start on the 16th. Let's say around 6th, 8th of April, your training, 8th of May, the training will get over. So I will put 8th May here. 8th of May 2022. And you are studying 2 hours. It says that 20th of July, you should be able to crack the thing. Now, Lakshman, look at it. What is this? This plan I will be sharing with you. It says that you should take the membership on what date. It actually shows the dates, And it says that you should read the chapter 1 from PMBOK on 14th of May, PMBOK chapter 3 on 15th of May. Prepare the application on this, Rita Mulkai, all that thing. Look at it. It is saying solve certain questions, create some map. All these activities are there. In the last of it, it says solve sample question paper. On the 3rd of July, 7th of July, 11th of July, retrospect on the basis of whatever you have done, good, bad. And look at it, the last line, 20th of July. Can you read this, Lakshman? What is this?
Yes, PMP exam and celebrate.
So basically, 20th of July, you will go ahead and crack that exam, is the plan. Now, this is completely customized for your batch. In this plan, if you look at it, Lakshman, your specific question, lot of focus is actually on trying to solve the mock paper. You must solve as many mock papers so it will help. Does that make sense?
That answers my question. Thank you, sir.
Good. Yes, let me see all, because there is somewhere it is there. You can unmute yourself if you want to ask. This we have seen, renewal of the certification beyond 3 years forever. It's a perpetual certificate. You need not have to, worry about it. As mandated by PMP, okay, a training option. Okay, these 35 hours we spoke about it. And then comes, now about this, what are the specific things? And they are seen on my side. So let me now go back to my side. So you will get this tool, which you can download right away. Then PDU continual requirement. How do you continue 60 PDUs? All that document is there. This is a PMI site there, PMI's document. Sample training certificate, one training certificate. How you will get the certificate is also given here. Then there is a PMP crossword, and this tool you can download. Everything under this open for all, you can download. Your fellow friends who are actually, pursuing PMP, ask them to visit my website, download anything from here. It is free. The only thing which this is that YouTube, in the YouTube, if you see about PMP course exam, this is a YouTube course. So if you click, it is a 48 minutes of YouTube in which I will be teaching you all this, what I have told it to you right now. There is a 2-hour video on Agile, which is called as adaptive life cycle. So these are, free there. Then comes a lot of things below here, and that is said only registered training participants. So let me tell it to you what are all that. Number one, this is a treasurer box. Here you will be able to see the multiple exam kits and mock papers and so on and so forth. So all that is visible. Slides which I will be using are there. There is a a PDF called as Sanjay class notes. This I will be providing everything in the soft format. It is a 32-page notes of the PMP. So it's like a note. So important things in the PMP course are actually covered here. Then a lot more things. So then there will be a chart here. The chart actually shows that these are all the topics you are going to learn. The moment you go ahead and finish something, that will turn automatically green. So you are, because it will run for 1.5 months, you need to track saying that what all you have completed, what all is by balance and all that thing. And the last part of this particular thing, you will find that there is a chart. Here there is an attendance, basically. You say that who are all the people who have attended. Here there are dates, so your dates will appear here. This is for the last batch. Then scrolling down, and then you will find one more table there. And this table will say on which of the day, what day do we cover. You will find typically for a date, there are 2 rows because we take a coffee break. Normally from 9 to 1, we don't do it continuously. We take a coffee break. So a video before coffee break and video after coffee break is available. The recording is available. So these are the things which are there. In addition to that, I will always help you for preparation later. I will help you for your application process and so on and so forth. That's it from my side. Any questions? So this is all now your time for any questions if you have.
Sanjay sir, this is Rajesh over here once again.
Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah. So for projects that is overlapping, for example, if we are working on 2 different projects for a duration of 6 months.
Correct.
So when we are submitting the application, those 2 projects would be considered as 6 months individually, or together it would be considered as 6 months.
See, typically what they do, Rajesh, in each of the project, they ask you the start date and end date.
Okay.
And what they do, they go ahead and if there is an overlapping period, they will count it only as one. So let's say from January to July, you worked onto a project. And even within that, from April to September, you worked onto the second project. So now April to July, there is an overlap. So they will count it only in one project. In other project, they will count only remaining.
Got it.
So typically what they do, I will tell you, I mean, if you understand the software language, what they do, वो सब project का लेके ना minimum वाला start date ले लेंगे और maximum वाला end date और उसमें का difference they will calculate rather than adding independent numbers.
Got it.
That's how it works.
Makes sense.
That care they have taken. Yeah.
Sanjay, one question, Harish.
Yes, Harish.
Do we have any fake questions for which the marks are not there? I mean,
yes.
Or is every question?
Yeah, that is there even in one, currently in 180, I think they have restricted it to some 20 questions. Earlier, the exam used to be 200 marks, and out of the 225 used to be something, you are saying as a fake questions. They are not fake questions, actually, they are candidate questions. What does it mean? The rating, they are the dummy questions which are actually undergoing the testing. Those questions are getting tested itself. So they are randomly there. But by the way, was that Harish who asked this question?
Yeah, that's correct, Sanjay.
Yeah, Harish. But problem kya hai, Harish, isme, they don't mark that in the exam. They don't say that this is a dummy question. So for you, it becomes essential to attempt all the question equally sincerely. You just don't know who is dummy.
So even if we have answered it correctly, that don't count to our total marks, right?
And at the same time, Harish, even if you go wrong there, you don't lose anything. Yes,
that's correct.
Both the things are correct. Ye kya hota hai, Harish, I will tell you what is this trick. What they do is that, there are huge questions they keep on adding into the question bank. So while they are adding into that, they have their own ways of reviewing that question. But after review as well, Harish, they don't go ahead and add it into the question bank. They mark them as a dummy question. And these such 20 questions out of 180, 20 such questions will be given in all the papers. Now look at it, there are thousands of people who are giving the exam daily. So har ek ke paper mein 20 such questions will come. Now they will go ahead and evaluate how are people responding to it. So once they realize, in some questions, they might realize that there is a complete division, which means, 25% people are choosing A, 25% are choosing B, 35 are choosing C, and let's say 15% are choosing D, which means this question is extremely ambiguous. It is actually confusing. So they will say that nahi, barabar nahi. They will also go ahead and they realize that, some question, 95% people have given the, right answer. So Harish, they say that yaar, ye bahut hi chiller question. This is just not making sense. So they are using, they are using you to, help them to improvise their question bank. Uske liye wo dummy question. Does that make sense, Harish?
Yeah, it makes sense. Also, I had actually gone through this site and there is this PMI local chapters. Do we need to join that?
It is good because they charge only $10 for that. So what do you get, Harish, out of that is that you become a member. So they arrange multiple events. For example, some project management seminar. Someone will come back and say that Agile as practiced in the project management. Yeah, people could to be subject like they do it. So you get a network of people where you can attend it and all that thing. That is one advantage there. Another thing is that if you go ahead and attend such webinar, you get the PDUs for that. If you attend such webinar for 2 hours, you come back home and say that 2 hours I attended such and such meeting, you get 2 PDUs. So 60 PDUs which you want to continue later. For that becomes easier. So it is worthwhile to go ahead and take the membership. However, Harish, theoretically it is optional. You can actually put the tick mark nikal do to you will get the membership in $129 without becoming the member of the chapter.
I have one question. As you said, if I attend a seminar, I will be getting the 2 PDUs basically. So basically, PDUs is the thing means which will be getting over the time. Like suppose
exactly
for my next renewal process, I'll have to collect 60 PDUs, right? So
exactly 60 PDUs in 3 years.
Ongoing process. Like over the time, I can collect 2 PDUs, 3 PDUs, and likewise it will keep on increasing.
Yes, it's a cumulative thing. So you need to keep on accumulating it, Lakshman. Absolutely correct. So you need to. In fact, Lakshman, one of the thing here is that quite a few in your company, your company, if there is some training which they have, conducted about some new application which is, help desk tracking or, some CRM system and all that thing, or Jira or any such tool. You can actually go ahead and claim that onto their site, saying that I have undergone such and such training for so many years. They give you PDUs. They don't want any proof to be done. They say, "Ha, theek hai, PDUs." So you get 60 PDUs very easy.
Okay.
Good.
Hello.
Yes.
Actually, sir, I have one question. After completion of the training, after 35 hours training, are you conducting online mock test before the exam?
During the whole training, Also we do it, not only in the end of it, Hanumant. We do
Yes.
it at the end of every topic. I will be giving you the mock test, and that mock test you are supposed to be solving in that week. So because I didn't click onto that sign here. ये मेरा website है. This, if you try to click it now, it will not open.
Okay, got it. Understood.
Registered. ये mock test दिख रहा है यहाँ.
Yes, yes.
So you'll find these are the in between mock tests.
Okay.
So these are conducted at the end of every topic. So that is there. In addition to that, at the end of it, I always say that if you prepare once and if you are confirm that your preparation is enough, you get in touch with me. I will give you one more test, which will be for 100 marks. These are all 15, 20 questions, at the end of each topic. That will be a big question paper, which will be 100 there. So that also I will be giving it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Sonali.
Nothing from my end.
Okay. Tanay?
Yes, sir. Actually, I wanted to ask that, as you said that this course will also cover the agile methodology and its curriculum. So
Correct.
will it also cover the tools and like the charts and all those, like how it is prepared and the details about it?
Typically, how wala Tanay nahi. But it covers something called as what is a burn down chart, what is burn up chart. Those are there. Then that Kanban board, all those concepts are there. They are covered into that. How to make it? Typically no, because there are no calculations related to that. Calculation and how to do, there are only two topics which are covered. One is called as critical path method, and there is something called as earned value, which we cover. But even in the final exam, Tanay, they will never ask you the question where they are trying to actually give you some number and say that calculate like this. So they don't ask. This is typically a PMP exam, so they will probably give you the burn down chart ka picture. So Tanay, they will give you burn down chart picture. And they will say that you are in this week, what is your interpretation? And remember, you need not have to write what is your interpretation. They said A, your project is behind the schedule. There were problems in the release too, and whatever. So options, and you need to do. So basically, you need to understand it very well. But actually, you need not have to build or draw it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, Deepa.
Sir, I have a question, like wherein we, as you said, we really have to just choose, and multiple choice. We have
your voice is breaking.
Nobody feels okay, after giving exam where we went wrong, which question we answered. Yeah, network issue. Like during after giving exam, do we come to know which questions have we answered incorrectly?
No. You don't. For the final one, you don't. For the mock, which I will be giving, you will. But that is only, the final thing, Deepa. Most important thing is that you must visit, even you can do it right away. And the site is called as Love PMP. This is this is one of the most popular thing, lovepmp.com. If you go to this particular thing and then click onto the PMP question, you'll find there are several. Now look at it here. I was telling you match the pair wala. This is that match the pair question.
Yes.
Then these are all match the pair. But then these are they have given about it. Let me go back to a topic, let's say related to people, because you would be also able to easily guess the answer here. So let's go to people. So people. Now people may look at it here. This is how the questions will look. Your project has total 35 stakeholders. How many lines of communication exist? You may not be knowing this. This is a formula which is there, but let's try this. Cheryl is a procurement management assigned to a project, new system patching service. She sits down with the project manager to review the performance of the prime vendor, highlighting the main issues that experience the vendor, including delivering these, 3 weeks later and going to be over budget by 5,000. So it got delayed, by 3 weeks, 5,000 more money as well. Cheryl spends an additional hour with the project manager, identifying what they could have done differently and what did they, what they did well in addressing the vendor issue as they occurred. What activity is she doing? She's finalizing an open claims, getting the work performance report, confirming formal acceptance, or capturing lessons learned. So you need to answer. So something like that. And in this, so coming back to that, Deepa, I was saying here you will get the answer. You will actually, you will, because this is a mock site. Site. So on this side, you will get it.
Okay.
Final wala, you will not. They normally don't, because, they don't, in fact, they don't tell you which questions were there and all that. You get only a result score there. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Anyone else has any question, or we actually, before I conclude, I need to tell you. So while you are actually still getting prepared for the question, you have time to ask the questions. Let me tell you, whosoever is your, point of contact for registering for this training, update your, decision about joining this training to him or her positively. Ask any commercial details and all that thing with that particular person, with whomsoever you have dealt. You have to talk to them. They will, be able to do that. But register it quickly, and hope, this whole presentation, what I have done today, has, helped to arise your, questions, and has found it little more interesting for you to do this particular course. So, and if you have any very more specific question about PMP and all that, feel free to, get in touch with me. Should I think I will give my email ID, because, and
Sir,
phone
I
number.
have one question.
Yes.
If is there any available slots on Sunday only? Like, suppose I'll be not able to join on Saturdays. So some of the Saturdays are working Saturdays. So if there means, are there any Sunday slots available for the training?
See, Saturday and Sunday, dono din hai there, because when I do it on Saturday and Sunday, then this one batch will go for 5 weeks. Who was this? Who was?
It's Lakshman, sir.
Lakshman. So basically, when we do it on Saturday and Sunday, then that goes for 5 weeks, because you need 9 sessions, Lakshman. Okay.
Okay.
So it is on both the thing. So now coming back to the thing, saying that if you are having an alternate weekend working, I'm saying, Saturday. So what will happen? All Sundays you will be able to join without any problem, and 2 Saturdays you might miss. If that happens, you can always go through the recording on the next day and finish it. So
okay, sir. Okay, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I mean, recording will be available immediately to you, so you should do it typically. And this does happen. You have a working, but some people, due to some other things, sometimes are not able to attend a day or two. They always go through the recording. It's not a big deal about it.
Okay.
Sir, our training time would be 9 to 1 or 9 to 2? 9 to 1.
No, 9 to 1.
Okay, thank you.
1 o'clock, Deepa, मेरे को बहुत भूख लग जाता है. I don't.
I can understand. Yeah.
A hungry man cannot teach good.
Yeah.
Normally 9 to 1 is good, Deepa. And what happens is, beyond that, it becomes difficult for all the people.
Yeah, to concentrate. Yeah, as well. Yeah, I get
and that's where I don't do it, more than 4 hours as well. In a day, even if I do it, see, Deepa, what happens? We people are actually, I mean, I have been a trainer for last, 10 years. I mean, I have trained thousands of people in, not only in PMP. Last job of mine before I got retired was in training department. So in fact, I never spoke about it. I think it's good time. I was working with Tech Mahindra for last 10 years. I was a trainer in Tech Mahindra. So I mean, teaching was my thing. So now coming back to this, what happens? We people being so much of the trainer there, after some time of the training, we go into something called as an autopilot. वो पायलट रहते हैं ना फ्लाइट का, ऑटो पायलट में टेक ऑफ के बाद में छोड़ देते हैं, वो चलता है फ्लाइट. So we go into that, but we can go in autopilot. You can't. I mean, you can't go into autopilot.
Yes.
You need to understand it.
Yeah.
So stretching it beyond 4 hours is really difficult. So
get it.
4 hours with one break is manageable still. So 9 to 1.
Sanjay, just to be very sure, this 9 o'clock is IST, correct?
IST, exactly. Where are you, Harish? You are in India?
No, I'm in Singapore.
Singapore, Singapore itna problem nahi hoga. People in US sometimes have a problem. Anyone else here in this room who is in some other geography? Looks like not. Okay, that's good. But last batch mein there was a lady called Swapna. She was in US. Nightmare tha wo, raat mein 11 se 3 tak karti thi wo. So before that there was a lady called Sonali as well. I mean, so it becomes slightly difficult. Good. Anyone else? Any question? Some hand raised I have seen, but I will leave it to you.
So this is regarding the class which we yesterday or yeah, we have a but
your voice is
attending
breaking,
is
Datta.
there any first can ask if I got something question?
Can you repeat?
After attending, is it? Yeah. After attending the recorded video class, if I got some questions or if I can I come to you in the upcoming week?
Absolutely, that you must do it. In fact, so Datta, just to give you more comfort here, if I call you during the week, you could be busy with your work and your meetings and all that thing. That's not a problem with me. I got retired 3 years back, Datta.
Okay.
So Monday से Saturday ना मेरे पास time ही time रहता है. So don't worry about it. What I mean is that you can get in touch with me. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, thanks.
Not a problem. Harish is saying that he is logging off. No problem, Harish. So yes, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If you have any feedback, pass it to me. And if nothing of them, you can actually start logging off, get in touch with the new skill, and like to see all of you on the next Saturday. I'm here.
Actually, Hanmant here, sir. One more question is there. I want to know, training is totally online or it's classroom type?
There is nothing, no classroom. All are virtual things.
All are online, virtual.
Online. Yeah, Zoom wala. Same link, in fact.
Same link. Okay. Understood.
Welcome, Rohit. Welcome, Sonal, who said thanks. Welcome, Harish. Welcome, Shankar, who has been silent for almost all, but hopefully Shankar was happy with the presentation. Deepa, most welcome. Hi, Rajesh. Would expect you to be there on the class on Saturday. Welcome, Anil and Lakshman. Hi, Tanay. Looking forward to see you as well. Vishal, most welcome. Welcome, Hanumant. Get in touch with me if you have any other question down the line. Datta as well, you can get in touch with me because we are directly in touch. Akshay, you were a little silent during the thing, but I'm sure you enjoyed it and looks like you're optimistic about joining. So see you, Akshay, very soon. Hi, Biru, a silent student in the classroom, Biru, but I am sure you enjoyed this session as well as join us very soon, Biru.
Yes, thank you.
Most welcome, Biru.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hi, Parag. Welcome. Let's meet soon.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Welcome, Hemant. See you soon.